What's up, people? This is Nerdetta, and you're listening to Nerdetta's World. Today, I'm going to be reviewing for you M3gan. Killer dolls have been part of the horror genre for decades now, but none of them have been as calculating and potent as M3gan, the star of a new horror film from Blumhouse, An Atomic Monster, directed by Gerard Johnstone. This 2022 film stars Allison Williams, Violet McGraw, Ronnie Chang, and Jenna Davis. Allison Williams plays Gemma, a pet toy inventor working on an AI-powered doll whose capabilities will make all other toys redundant. When Gemma's sister unexpectedly perishes in a car crash, Gemma is forced to become the caretaker of her niece, Katie. Unable to divide herself between her work and her niece, she instead attaches her passion project, M3gan, to Katie and finds the results to be overwhelmingly positive. However, a series of tumultuous events interfere with M3gan's core functions, leading to disastrous consequences for everyone. Billed and promoted as a horror film, M3gan is an intelligently structured slasher that bursts out of its genre limitations into something else entirely. There's this trauma of a childhood losing her parents, an inventor looking to change the whole AI industry, and a slasher doll that seems to be just doing what it is programmed to do. Director Gerard Johnstone's strength lies in how he juggles and balances these competing themes and storylines and brings out a film that is scary, entertaining, and tongue-in-cheek through and through. The acting is fine across the board, with the protagonist Katie, played by Violet McGraw, being the emotional center of the story. Allison Williams as her aunt, Gemma, is the voice of reason, and it is her invention that starts to go off the rails in a series of unfortunate occurrences. Gemma would do anything to protect the only remaining memory of her sister, and since Gemma and Katie have different approaches to M3gan, a showdown is then set, which the sinister doll will take full advantage of. Jenna Davis, as the voice of M3gan, is every bit as innocent and sinister as one would expect. She brings both the charm of a newly born intelligence and a stone-cold killing machine to light, and it is M3gan's disarming voice that is her most deadly characteristic. Ronnie Chang, as a stuck-up boss who forces the doll into the market without due diligence, provides a nice counterbalance with his snarky, dry humor. Based on both his premise and his central character, comparisons of the film will undoubtedly be made with the Chucky films, another franchise where a killer doll starts to kill, albeit for entirely different reasons. M3gan is every bit as vile and destructive as Chucky, and unlike Chucky, she also has a twisted sense of humor and high intelligence to aid her exploits. While the Chucky films have often been hampered by their simplistic scripts and violence, M3gan has no such flaws that would hamper its narrative. Another film where a seemingly small child uses her cunning intelligence and violent urges to destroy a family is 2009's Orphan. But unlike that film, M3gan is a cautionary tale about the limits of technology and how it ultimately throttles and turns on the very people that created it. With her far superior intelligence and her almost indestructible body at her side, M3gan turns out to be a highly capable adversary to her human creators. The violence and terror take a while to get going, but that is only because M3gan the doll is a newborn, and she is collecting data about the world surrounding her. As events start to unfold that directly threaten her core directive, which is to protect Katie, the android has no choice but to embark on a spree of death and destruction. This interferes directly with what her creator Gemma has in mind, and therefore, the story becomes a direct conflict between a human guardian and an android guardian, both trying to protect Katie according to their respective worldviews. As with every horror film, there are surprises and jump scares in the film that are extremely effective in creating tension. As the story shifts from technological discovery to an AI running amok, one expects the tension and the violence to shift gear as well, and this is where the film comes out on top. The audience needs to have a shift in perspective towards the doll, and director Gerard Johnstone ensures that the doll's gradual turn to evil is every bit as creepy and unnerving as one expects it to be. This is where the film overtakes its cookie-cutter counterparts and turns into a story that might induce fear in you. both of the carnage on screen and of the pervading reach of AI as it slowly invades every aspect of our lives in the real world. Equally impressive are the special effects that bring the story to the screen. Utilizing a combination of practical effects and CGI, the film brings M3gan to life in a highly realistic way. Even more impressive is how the doll interacts with the physical surroundings and other human characters, and not only does it all feel very organic, but it is scary how realistic it appears to be. The makers used a real child actor as stand-in for the doll, and then used technological wizardry to supplement the actor with the doll. All this makes for a very real doll committing very real acts of violence that will have far-reaching consequences. Therefore, to summarize, M3gan is a fun, freaky little quasi-horror gem that both entertains and disturbs. A cautionary tale of both technology and AI that eventually backfires on the humans that created it. The film has a believable and emotional central premise that is anchored by the fantastic performance of child actor Violet McGraw and an equally disturbing voiceover by Jenna Davis. Entertaining through and through, M3gan ushers in a good year for horror films and is far superior to the recent genre fare that has been released so far. We give the film a 9 out of 10. This is Nerdetta signing off. See ya!